Hey there folks, welcome back to the People's University of Common Sense channel. This is episode 16. I am your host Tracy, and today we're going to talk about right versus left, and then also talk about something I kind of come across about multiple sclerosis. And then stay tuned at the end, and I will give you 3 historic events that happened on this day in history. Stay tuned. All right, so first I just want to talk about, right versus left, liberal versus conservatism, just that in general. So just listening to news and then following a bunch of different articles that are on X and just everywhere, you just see this big, there's such a big difference between the left and the right, the liberalism versus conservatism. So if you look at the founding of our government and how the Constitution was written, and you read the Federalist Papers, you can truly understand where our founders were coming from as far as the type of government that they were wanting to put together and just how they want to live as opposed to other countries. And so as a libertarian myself, I find that I follow most of everything that the founders put in place, and I love the Constitution. I love everything that it represents, and I just don't understand, how did we get to a point to where people that live in this country, and they should understand how the Constitution was formed, why it was formed, and all that, and why they are living in the United States, why they would want to change that to a government or any other form of government that our founders had escaped from. It's like, why do you want to revert back to any type of tyranny and give away your freedoms or take away freedoms from other people? I would be interested, any liberal or left-leaning person explain to me why the Constitution is bad and why conservatism is bad. It makes no sense to me why you would want to give up freedoms. But anyway, there's that. So let's move on. That can be a lengthy topic, and it'd be nice if I could actually get somebody on where I could have a back and forth. We can have some type of a debate going on. But anyway, maybe that's for a later day. So now this thing about multiple sclerosis. So I had seen a post about they found that, and it's been known for some time, is that multiple sclerosis is parasitical, and meaning that there are parasites that are actually, I don't know if they're the cause, but they have reviewed and determined that 100% of multiple sclerosis victims, people that have died from it, they've scanned their the brain tissue as well as spinal fluid and found parasites in them. And so 100% of multiple sclerosis patients have parasites, and that's quite alarming. So that made me think about the fact that like places like Africa have used ivermectin in general for parasites, and so being that Africa has used ivermectin for some time, just because of the cleanliness and whatever, they require using a lot more. They, over the course of COVID, had realized that Africans had way less cases of COVID, and so they knew ivermectin was good for that. So then that made me think, well, since they had been using ivermectin for that and know that ivermectin's an anti-parasitical, that there's got to be some type of correlation between the MS cases in Africa versus the United States. So quick research found that so for absolute numbers, here, I'll just read it. It says the U.S. has significantly more reported cases of MS, which is like 1 million, as opposed to Africa, which is around 44,000 to 73,500, depending on, how they get their numbers, reflecting both higher prevalence rate and a smaller population. So it's weird that percentage-wise, MS has affected 0.29% of the population in America. So 0.29% is like, oh, that's less than 1%. That doesn't matter. But again, you're talking about 1 million people. So I'm thinking if we could reduce that by any means that, isn't harmful, then why not? And so then looking at Africa's percentage, it's 0.003% to 0.005%. So it's a huge difference. That means that MS affects about 58 to 97 times more people per capita in the US than Africa. Now, why is that? And to me, I see ivermectin being a direct link to this because, again, Africa uses ivermectin, the United States does not in general. So I'm thinking, can we give ivermectin to MS patients and cure them? I have to read up, see if that's even tried, but I just found that interesting. I'd be interested in what you guys think about that. All right, so now, the end of the story here. Let's look at 3 historic events that happened on this day in history. And start off with the Great Alaska Earthquake. Now, I wasn't even aware of this. I guess maybe it was in history books. I don't know. In 1964, on March 27th of 1964, a massive earthquake with a magnitude of 9.2 struck south central Alaska. It was the most powerful earthquake ever recorded in North America and the second most powerful in the world history. Wow, the second most powerful. Says the quake, along with the resulting tsunamis, killed 139 people and caused widespread destruction, particularly in Anchorage. I wonder if there's any remnants of that earthquake still showing presence today there in Anchorage. That'd be interesting. This event led to significant advances in earthquake research and building codes in seismic zones. So, wow, the second largest in world history. That's at least recorded history, because I'm sure there was bigger ones back prior to any of man recording events. Anyway, I thought that was neat. Number 2, so in 1977, the Tenerife airport disaster. So this day, again, the deadliest aviation accident in history took place when 2 Boeing 747 airliners collided in a foggy runway at Los Rodeos Airport in Tenerife, Canary Islands. So the collision between KLM Flight 4805 and Pan Am Flight 1736 resulted in 583 deaths. Wow. With only 61 survivors from the Pan Am plane. So it was basically attributed to miscommunication, poor visibility, and human errors as key factors, promoting major improvements in aviation safety protocols worldwide. Man, can you imagine 583 people all in one instance? Boom. Anyway, pray for their families. So this is I guess benefit to both men and women. Everybody's happy. So in 1998, the FDA approves Viagra. So the Food and Drug Administration approved Viagra, which is sildenafil, whatever. The first oral medication treating erectile dysfunction. It was developed by Pfizer. This drug revolutionized treatment for the condition, becoming a cultural phenomenon and generating billions in sales. It's still producing billions, I imagine. Its approval marked a significant moment in medical history, expanding options for men's health and sparking broader conversations about sexual awareness. Or wellness, not awareness. Awareness, maybe. But yeah, Viagra. So I guess from what I recall from what was out was that Viagra was initially, it was a heart not necessarily blood pressure, but it was a heart medicine to help with your cardiovascular. And I guess because it thins the blood, whatever, and so with that, it causes better blood flow down to your nether regions. So yeah, good thing for those people. I mean, it does have some side effects. I guess people get headaches and ringing of the ears, and I guess sometimes they can cause blindness, some other things. So don't just take it willy-nilly. So definitely be cautious if you notice anything while you're taking it. There's other ones out there, Cialis and others, and I know there's cheaper off brands, whatever. I think a lot of it's probably effective, but I myself am going the natural route with supplements. Anyway, I hope you like all this information, and again, please comment on anything that I've spoken about, anything you would like to bring up, argue with me, debate, whatever. That's all good. Anyway, if you like this information, like this content, please like and subscribe, hit the notification bell for upcoming videos, and until next time.